Five Nights at Freddy's just got a ton of news from the ruined release date revealed with some new gameplay info, along with most importantly a ton of FNAF movie controversy as an actor strike starts, causing fear the movie could get delayed. Like the video if you're hyped for the film, but let's just get right into it. So starting off simple, in case you live under a rock, the ruined DLC addition to FNAF Security Breach has officially gotten itself a release date of July 25th, so in about 9 days, which is great news. And plus, most importantly, with this drop, we got a new mini teaser and a dev blog from the devs talking about the DLC's new gameplay, saying, "Its tone is a stark contrast to that of Security Breach. Our goal was to lean into a more familiar feel Freddy's fans have come to expect, and in that effort, we've created DLC that's far more dark, dreadful, and ominous than the base game. We've also moved away from the hide-and-seek gameplay of the base game. Ruin's moment-to-moment is built around patience and timing, and after thinking long on what we want to share before launch, I'm actually going to leave it at that." So the game appears like it's going to improve a ton on the many criticisms with Security Breach, which I like. However, what I'm hoping to see the most with this new DLC is honestly some gameplay performance improvements, because after playing Security Breach again recently, while this game is still flawed in its design, the biggest issue was that even almost 2 years later, after multiple patches, the game runs like complete garbage, at least on my computer, with tons of glitches and frame rate issues, which if carried over into Ruin could make it an equally frustrating experience. However, while not addressed, the developers definitely seem to be way more focused on improving the title's flaws, and also the DLC will probably be a lot smaller than the base game. Another thing important to note about this ruined DLC is that as of right now, it's actually only releasing on PlayStation consoles and PC, just like how the game originally released, which frustrated some, but it's pretty normal for this to happen, so I don't actually have too many complaints. Overall, though, this seems like our last ruined DLC update ever, and we will be playing the title here in a few days, so stick around for that and comment below what you're hoping to see in the DLC. However, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie doesn't seem to be in as good of a position. As starting off with some good news, the movie actually got what I think is an unofficial runtime on the Showcase website, which lists the film at 2 hours and 2 minutes, which is honestly a lot longer than I was expecting. I was personally thinking the film was going to be closer to an hour and a half, but with how long the movie is, there's going to be a lot of room for some good storytelling. However, with that being said, the massive issue and main part of this video is that, well, the movie could be in some massive trouble. Recently, the Actors Union SAG-AFTRA has actually announced they were going on a strike, promising to stop working this past Thursday if no deal was met with the studios. And yeah, no deal was met and they went on strike. Now, this strike in question is completely separate to the writer's strike that also happened somewhat recently. However, similarly, this is having a massive effect on the movie industry, because if you didn't know, while this strike is active, any people involved in this acting union, which I believe is most, won't be allowed to do things like film or make any sort of public appearances. Now, this wouldn't necessarily be a problem for the FNAF movie, as it's already been done filming for a while now. However, this would also include any sort of marketing campaigns that any of the actors or actresses would be a part of, from movie premieres or other types of advertising. And if you couldn't tell, that's a huge issue, because while the FNAF movie is getting really close to releasing, only 100 days away at this point, that is still a long while away in the grand scheme of things. So they desperately need to be spending these next few months doing things like promoting the film, developing mass hype around it, and maybe even getting it to go viral on websites like TikTok, which they have already been doing with their newest rounds of trailers to what I would say has actually been some immense success. However, as we start to get to the home stretch of the movie's release, this strike is destroying the time the creators needed to be using to promote the film. And as much as people want to ignore how dangerous this actually is for the film, the fact of the matter is that if creators cannot market the film with their own actors, and they just have to release it with whatever source material they already have, which is just a couple trailers, this movie has a genuinely higher chance to fail. And that's not me being pessimistic or trying to fearmonger, but rather most movies nowadays, even with advertising, are honestly failing absolutely miserably, reaching new company lows for multiple studios, with the only films to actually have successful launches being films like the Super Mario movie or the Minions movie last July that weren't even seen as great films by critics, but still got popular because they were simply very well marketed. And assuming the strike goes on for multiple months, it's possible that it could last all the way into October, and the film will essentially have to release with little to no promo from the actors themselves, since they're basically avoiding promoting the film until its release for obvious reasons. It's a strike and all. I've seen some companies already try to combat this strike, like Disney, who actually held their newest film's premiere with no actors and instead just used suited versions of their characters, which is a potential genuine option for the creators. But with no actor input, this would also mean that anticipated interviews with the actors for promo, like the Matthew Lillard interview that was supposed to be on Game Jolt, also appears to be completely canceled, with with no statement from them, and other film crew like Cat Connor Sterling have also made mini statements telling us basically that they're going to be avoiding discussion on the movie until the strike, of course, ends. However, this has led to the biggest fear that many have had, being, is the film going to end up getting delayed for marketing reasons? And the answer is, I don't think so. However, it is very much possible. See, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is going to affect the promotion of the FNAF movie an absolute ton. It's probably going to affect how good the film does, it's probably going to affect how popular the film gets, and possibly it could even affect the relationship between the actors and the film, since of course they are deliberately hurting the film's performance to make a statement here. However, something that FNAF actually does have going for it is that it's extremely popular just on social media alone, to the point where, to be honest, I don't know if it even needs that much marketing in the first place. Even with just one singular trailer, the film went absolutely crazy on YouTube with tons of extremely popular reactions, along with some more mindless controversy about the film's eyes and its potential rating, which have just caused the film to go crazy everywhere in the world. And plus, while this does stop all the promo between actors from happening, there's still things like posters and promotional photos all over the United States, in theme parks and theaters, to the point where it's become a mini trend to take a photo when spotting the movie poster in public at all. So at least from the online world, I genuinely believe the movie has done a lot to market itself already. And at least right now, in my opinion, despite the actor strike and everything going on, it seems like the film is already extremely popular with fans. The only big issue it faces is that in 2 to 3 months down the line, is the movie going to stay popular, or is it going to fall off the face of the earth with the sheer lack of promo? I don't really know for now. And to be honest, being truthful, if a couple months from now this strike seriously affects the film's potential performance, I can't say I can rule out the idea of the film getting delayed even slightly, especially with how much time and money has been put into it since its 2015 announcement. But attempting to be a bit positive here, something that's worth noting is that, strike or not, delayed or not, you most likely don't have to worry about the movie's quality or production at all, because the filming for the movie has been done for a while and it's currently being edited as we speak. And so while the promotion for the movie could be affected by the strike, the actual quality of the film has already been determined and shot months ago, so we at the very least don't have to worry about all of that. However, to be honest, I don't really know too much about the specifics of the strike, and in regards to when it could end, I really have no idea, but I hope it does end soon, because movies are failing like crazy and studios are definitely not in the best state going through this double strike with writers and actors turning against them, which, if I were a studio, could make it tempting to just delay everything in production entirely and just wait for this all to blow over. But overall, I'm hoping that this is just all a minor deal and nothing gets delayed, and it's just another bump in the road for the release that's still coming in literally like a few months. And despite my potential suspicions, nothing has been delayed, there hasn't been too many official statements, and so far everything at least seems to be fine. However, in the meantime, check out this video for more about the movie, and hopefully things end well for them.